Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Movies and Melodies. Today it's all about dreams, khwab, khayal, sapna, and so on. Specifically dream sequences. Dream sequences were used as a tool to further the romance, or rather further the story along and show how romance was progressing, who's fallen in love with whom, or sad reminiscing about, past love and so on. Bollywood, of course, never fails us. Fabulous dream sequences and songs that are related to dream sequences. So for my first one, Pyaasa. What a magnificent movie. Gurudutt's magnum opus, in my opinion. Released in 1957, it had absolutely fantastic music. S.D. Burman with Sahir Saab. It was in such a, it had reached absolute perfection. I'm failing to find words here. That combination of these two geniuses, I think it was the culmination of years of, passion and everything that ended up producing this absolutely fantastic set of songs for this movie. And there is a remarkable dream sequence in the movie. The story is about a poet who becomes very famous when people assume he's dead. And then he returns. Everyone is upset, his publisher especially, because he thinks now that the poet is alive, no one's going to be buying his poetry and so on, and he's going to lose money. So they basically pretend that he's not who he is, and including his brothers, they're all declaring him dead and that this man is actually an imposter. It's a very cynical statement about human greed, and actually quite true also. The dream sequence is between Gurudutt and Mala Sinha, who will have been his first love. She actually ends up leaving him to marry a rich man. So there's so much of foreshadowing of what the future holds in this particular dream sequence. The music, of course, I've told you, is S.D. Burman with Sahir Saab's lyrics, but the singing, it's incredible. He keeps on coming up with these romantic scenarios of laying his heart down for this beautiful woman, and she very playfully rejects every single one of those advances. And Geeta Dutt has done such a magnificent job of, being that slightly heartless, callous, and yet playfully loving in the whole thing. And Rafi Saab is so sweet and sincere in his singing. Hum aapki aankhon mein is dil ko basa de to.
Hum aapki aankhon mein is dil ko basa de to. हम मूंद के पलकों को इस दिल को सजा दें तो हम आपकी आँखों में इस दिल को बसा दें तो हम मूंद के पलकों को इस दिल को सजा दें तो हम आपकी आँखों में इस दिल को बसा दें तो इन जुल्फों में गूंदेंगे हम फूल मोहब्बत के जुल्फों को झटक कर हम ये फूल गिरा दें तो इन जुल्फों में गूंदेंगे हम फूल मोहब्बत के जुल्फों को झटक कर हम ये फूल गिरा दें तो आपकी आँखों में इस दिल को बसा दें तो
Awaara, a Raj Kapoor Nargis starrer, which released in the early 50s. Absolute mega hit, and the music also complete hit. Shankar Jaikishan, Shailendra Ji, Hasrat Jaipuri. Always a winning combination. The movie was about nature versus nurture, that whole debate. and Prithviraj Kapoor plays a judge who is actually Raj Kapoor's father in the movie as well. And you have a very cute, very chubby Shashi Kapoor playing a young Raj Kapoor also in the movie. The dream sequence in this movie, it's actually a song medley. It's a very, very long sequence as well. And it starts off very sweet and gentle and morphs into a nightmare. It's a characterization of what is happening in the young man's mind. The story is that of Raj Kapoor, who ends up becoming a petty thief. He's trying to break out of the criminal life, but is constantly threatened back into it by an absolutely terrifying K.N. Singh. And in this song, you can see the conflict that's happening in this young man's mind. He wants to live a life of honesty and peace and just be with his lady love, but unfortunately, the nightmarish K.N. Singh comes in and ruins everything. So Lata ji has sung this, it's like a duet, and Lata ji has sung this very, very beautifully, you know, yearning in her voice and all of this gentle love and so on. And Manada, who has sung for Raj Kapoor, he has this sort of like tortured angst in his voice, the way he sung all his parts in the whole song medley. So it starts off with Tere Bina Aa Gaye Chandni, and then goes through Ye Nahi Hai Zindagi, and ends up with Ghar Aaya Mera Pardesi.
में जिंदा जल रहा हूँ हाय सांस के ये याग के ये तीर चीरते हैं हर बार मुझको ये न रखना चाहिए मुझको फूल मुझको गीत मुझको प्रीत चाहिए मुझको चाहिए बहार मुझको चाहिए बहार मुझको चाहिए बहार मुझको चाहिए बहार
आया मेरा परदेसी प्यास बुझी मेरी अखियन की बचपन की घर आया मेरा परदेसी
ये दिल किसको दूं. This was a movie that came out, I think early 60s, maybe late 50s, can't quite remember. Shashi Kapoor and Ragini, one of the Travancore sisters, are the co-stars in the movie. The movie is meh. Too many songs also, I think. Iqbal Qureshi's music Qamar Jalalabadi's lyrics. Two very talented musicians here. And yet, the movie itself is, the story is kind of a, not great. Rich young man who is basically flush with money but starved for true love. He decides to go out into the world, pretend he's a tramp, and try and find true love, which of course he finds in the form of a carnival entertainer, Sherry, played by Ragini. So this particular song, it's more like a waking dream sequence because our hero has had a little too much English daru, and it's so strong that he's tull at this point. So it's a very entertaining picturization. He's running around singing this song, declaring his love, and his lady love is dancing around all these giant wine glasses and so on. And it's a kind of a duet. Usha Khanna basically doesn't have much to do other than keep on humming the refrain of Pyar Ka Alam. Rafi Saab, on the other hand, is just gorgeous. It's a beautiful song. His voice is so velvety and tingles down your spine kind of a thing. फिर आने लगा याद वही प्यार का आलम.
फिर आने लगा याद वही प्यार का आलम, इनकार का आलम कभी इकरार का आलम. फिर आने लगा याद वही प्यार का आलम,
प्यार का आलम.
पहली मुलाकात में, वो पहली मुलाकात में रंगीन इशारे, फिर बातों ही बातों में वो तकरार का आलम. फिर आने लगा याद वही प्यार का आलम.
Baharon Ke Sapne. This came out at the latter part of the 60s. It was a Nasir Hussain production and directed by him as well. It was a passion project for Nasir Saab. He had written this story when he was in college and then sort of refined it and made the movie. It was all about fair treatment of workers, any kind of workers in the salt mines or in a factory, whatever it is. Fair treatment of these people, equal wages for them, also a huge kind of a cheer and kind of a backing for unions, trade unions. Sadly, however, the audience did not take to it and the movie flopped quite badly. I think it was Rajesh Khanna's best role. He has done such a phenomenal job. It was, one of his earlier movies before he became the phenomenon, but he was absolutely fabulous in it. The tortured young man who is fighting for equality, fighting for fair working conditions, fair wages and so on. He's tortured, he's so young, he's so vulnerable, and he really lived that role. He did a beautiful job. Asha Parekh very ably supporting him. She's also so young, so youthful, and yet so poised and so mature. The whole movie is in black and white, except for this dream sequence. This is shot in color, but everything is very muted. It doesn't jar you when it shifts from black and white to color. Everything is in black and whites. The heroine is dressed in a white outfit, he is in black. So, you're still sort of keeping in tune with the black and white theme, but it's color. And Rajesh Khanna is imagining Asha Parekh singing this song to him. R.D. Burman's absolute musical genius is very apparent in this song. I highly recommend that you listen to it very carefully. His use of instrumentation, his use of echoes and stuff, oh, absolutely spot on. And Lata ji, she has hit it out of the park with this incredibly ethereal way of singing. Just delightful. Kya Janu Sajan. Abhilasha, this movie came out, I think, again, late 60s, 68, something like that. It starred Sanjay Khan and Nanda in the lead roles. Interesting story about an army officer who adopts the son of his household help and raises him as his own son. But when this fact is revealed to the young man later on in life, it causes almost like trauma to him. He's somehow very disturbed by this whole thing and feels like an enormous sense of obligation and so on. And he sort of has to pass through this whole traumatic phase before he comes out the other side to live happily ever after. Sanjay Khan is handsome, but hammy through it. Nanda ji is fantastic. She is feisty and, you know, so spirited. She's awesome. And Rahman and Meena Kumari as the adoptive parents are outstanding, actually. And interestingly enough, in a not insignificant role, actually, Kashinath Ghanekar, the famous Marathi playwright actor, he has a small role as Sanjay Khan's younger brother in the movie. Again, he is outstanding. So this kind of makes it even more obvious that Sanjay Khan is not quite up to par. Music was by R.D. Burman, Majroo Saab's lyrics. Just beautiful songs. And this sequence, the dream sequence, is the heroine's dream. She's dreaming of her hero who has gone away to train as an army officer. Lata ji, Kishore Kumar, beautiful. प्यार हुआ है जब से
प्यार हुआ है जब से मुझको नहीं कहना था झुक के नजर से भी तू दिल से नहीं जाता अरे प्यार हुआ है
लिपटी है तू मेरी ही बाहों से।
फिर है सजना ओझल क्यों मेरी निगाहों से।
मैं हूँ तेरे दिल में है फिर भी मेरी जान, तूने ही मुझको नहीं देखा मैं करूँ क्या।
अरे प्यार हुआ है जब से मुझको नहीं कहना आता, छुप के नजर से भी तू दिल से नहीं जाता।
अरे प्यार हुआ है जब से मुझको नहीं चैन आता, छुप के नजर से भी तू दिल से नहीं जाता।
Geet, Gaya, Patharon, which came out in 1964, was the debut movie for Rajashri, V. Shantaram's daughter, and Jitendra actually as a hero. Since it was a V. Shantaram movie, it was obviously great music, great dance sequences. It was a, like I've always said, fantastic spectacles to see. And the movie was very entertaining. It was about a sculptor and his muse, and how there are some conflicts and misunderstandings. They both separate and then they come back together. Rajashri, for a first movie, is enchanting. You feel sad that this girl did not continue in the movie industry, and she, basically gave up everything and got married to the love of her life and moved away to the US. Jitendra is very young and actually, pretty good. I mean, V. Shantaram really kind of trained him well, and he delivers. Music is by Ramlal, very lovely music. Lyrics, actually, most of the songs were written by Hasrat Jaipuri. Couple of them were written by Vishwamitra Adil, this song included. So this dream sequence is when the sculptor has the dream where his muse comes down to him from the heavens and encourages him to sculpt all these beautiful statues. Asha ji, stunning voice, and she sung it beautifully. Tere khayalon mein hum. That's it for today, folks. I hope I've jogged your memory about other dream songs and dream sequences. Please do let me know what you thought of the episode, and if you have other suggestions for a second sort of a sequel to this same theme. I will be back in 2 weeks with our 4th anniversary episode. Can you believe that? I'm so thrilled. But until then, remember, music is food for the soul. Keep listening.